Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fresno Greeks podcast. My name is Aiden Gallagher, the host, and I'm here joined today by two Chi Delta Betas, and Andres and Omar. You guys want to say a little bit about yourselves?
Hello, my name is Omar. I'm the president of Kaijus Beta, which a lot of people may know.
Uh, Me, I'm Andres, vice president of Kaijus Beta, big and little. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. All right, guys, do you want to say a little bit about yourselves, your hometown, your major, what year you guys are in school?
So basically, my name is Omar. I'm from Santa Maria, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows. It's the 805 at this point. Or over there close by San Luis Obispo. I'm a history major. I'm a third year. And then I'm set to graduate next semester, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I am a freshman. I am majoring in physics, trying to get into astrophysics. And I'm also majoring in philosophy. I'm trying to find that sweet spot where they both coincide, which is big questions. What is the beginning of the universe? What is time? All those questions. It's half physics, half philosophy. So that's what I'm trying to, academic suicide. As pretty much anyone knows, I am from Chile. I'm an international student. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell, I guess.
That's pretty good. All right, so we'll jump into your guys' time in terms of going Greek. So, coming into college, what were your initial thoughts about Greek life when you guys entered college? Did you come in wanting to join a Greek org? Were you always just kind of like, seen the stigmas, seen things on TV or in movies? What were your guys' first perceptions coming into college about Greek life in general?
So, to be honest with you, I came in here and I didn't think I was going to join a frat just because, like, when you think about frat, you think like, oh, just party, drugs. That's pretty much it. And I was like, I'm not really about that life. Originally, I wasn't about that life. And then I remember, my sophomore year, I came up here, and like the fall semester, I didn't really do much. So I was like, I want to get out there a little bit more. So like spring came up, so I was just walking up to my geology class, which was like all the way over there. Yeah. So I was walking through the booth, right? And then all I see is like someone just pulled up next to me. He's like, hey, like, how you been? I'm like, oh, I've been pretty good. He was just like having a conversation with me, like not really trying to pitch the idea to me, but just like trying to connect with me. And at the time I had like a gold chain with like an AK-47.
Damn.
Yeah. So, and like, he was just looking at me. He was like, I like your chain. I was like, oh, I appreciate it. And then we were just talking for a little bit. And then like two guys behind them pulled up. He's like, hey, you're from Santa Maria, huh? I was like, yeah, I'm from Santa Maria. And then he's like, 805, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're not down to rush. I'm like, fuck it. Oh, wait. Can I curse?
Yes. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Then he's like, fuck it, rush. I was like, all right, fuck it. And yeah, the rest is history.
As for me, you don't get fraternities or sororities where I'm from. They're a far thing. I thought they weren't even real, honestly. I thought they were like some American Pie shit. Like, like that's all I knew. And so I was in my first semester here. I was still adapting to English. What will be a important part of this story? I was adapting to English. I was not very quick on listening. I could talk pretty the same way I do still, but listening, yeah. So it was like around the third week of school, maybe, and like every frat and sorority, every orgs, they started putting on their booths and like trying to recruit, and I was like, oh, they're real. Like, oh shit. And I was like, interesting. And I was just walking by. I kind of thought of like, you know what? I might like look into it and might like, because I felt very lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know anyone in the country whatsoever. So basically my whole day was going to class, eating, studying, going home, repeat. So I was like pretty tired of that life. And so I was like lurking around with all the fraternities. I was like looking from the distance, like, oh, that's interesting. And one of them said multicultural. I was like, nice, because I saw the other fraternities that were like in front of the kind of bookstore. Yeah. They're all the other orgs. They're all very blonde, very whatever. Yeah. They didn't look very much multicultural. So I was like, nah, not my thing. So I gave up. I was walking to the library. I saw our council's tables, and it said like a bunch of Greek letters that I didn't know and just multicultural. I was like, huh, interesting. So I approached the table. And I was like, hey, what's a fraternity? Like, what is it? And they start selling me like, oh, it's just a group of people. We built a connection. It's like basically a family away from family, a home away from home, blah, blah, blah. And they go like, where are you from? Probably they wanted me to be from 805 too, I guess. They were kind of disappointed when I said, yeah, no, I'm not like from this country. They go like, oh shit, where are you from? I was like, Chile. They go like, oh, this certain brother goes like, oh, so you speak like Spanish and shit. And I was like, I was done at that point because not a lot of people are able to put in the map where Chile is. Yeah. So like I had legit people ask me, oh, is that near the Philippines or is that like in Asia? It's like, bro. So I was done with that. And this guy goes like, oh, so you speak like Spanish and shit. And I was like, yes, I do speak Spanish and shit. He goes like, so you're like next to Spain, huh? Oh god. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, I got a little upset. And I was like, if you wanted to go to from my country to Spain, the quickest way possible will be through Earth's fucking core, like through the Earth. He goes like, oh, like so it was that, but at the same time, I found it like a funny experience, because even though I was like explaining where I was from and blah blah blah, I felt a connection there that they were like legit curious about me, and I was curious about them, and that was the first time I had a meaningful conversation with anyone since I got into the country. Yeah. So that's what made me stick and go to the socials. And then in the socials, it just kicked off, and I just had too much fun, so I stuck around.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Funny story.
Very nice, very nice. So, of course, both of you guys got approached in quite different ways. Do you think, obviously, you guys are drawn in by the way that your other brothers had talked to you and everything like that. Did you guys feel some kind of trust with them as soon as you met them? What was it when you started spending time with them and started forming those connections? What stood out about Chi Delta Beta to you?
So originally during the social events, I would go only if they were on campus. And I remember one time they had a Bulldog because like half the fraternity worked there at the time, and they were like, "Oh, you should come." And at the time I didn't have a car, and they're like, "Oh, like we'll pick you up and stuff." I'm like, "I'll pay for gas." They're like, "No, don't worry. Like we'll take care of you and everything." I was like, "Okay." And we pulled up, and then they were like drinking soju. At the time I didn't really know what soju was, so we were taking like shots, and then I drank a little bit too much. I ended up getting a little messed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
impressive.
I mean, at that point, I kind of, they took me back home and stuff and made sure I was taken care of and stuff. Yeah. But that's why I knew, I was like, like, if they really did care about me, they took care of me, and they did. So, I mean, like, at the end of the day, I feel like it's like brotherhood there at that point.
Is it concerning if I have a similar story? Well, we are big and little.
Yeah,
I guess.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. Checks out. So basically, it wasn't an official social. Like after the socials, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna like throw off a little barbecue. We're gonna drink up. Would you be interested in?" I was like, "Yeah." It's the first time I do anything like actually social, because the socials are like more professional and more like, yeah, everyone's wearing letters. So this was like off the books, and I was like, "This will be like."
It was like a kickback.
Yeah, it was like that's the word, kickback. And I was like, yeah, I guess this is like literally the first kickback I have since I left home a couple months ago. I need this. So I went there, and obviously I got kind of a little bit drunk, and they just took care of me. And they also like got me home, and I was like, that's like rare. Yeah. Like you just don't take care of a stranger like that. Most people wouldn't. So if they're like me, if they're like that with me, and I'm not even a brother, how is it between them? It should be the same thing, but 10 times more. So, yeah,
Yeah. So, of course, you guys formed a little bit of trusting connections early on. And then there are certain stigmas that a lot of people hold when it comes to fraternities and their rushing processes and stuff like that. Obviously, we can't talk about rush processes here, but were you at any point afraid that you were going to get hazed, or did you always trust your now brothers? Did you form that trust beforehand? Were you kind of like, oh man, I saw this movie once that showed this? Or what was your perception of a process beforehand?
So, I mean, for me, the way they got me was through like the 805 thing. So basically, like I already knew, like, I just wanted to prove to them, I was like, I ain't no bitch. And so regardless, like even if Kai Delta Beta did haze, like which we don't, I would have stuck on through it because at the end of the day I was like, "Ain't no fighting no bitch, right?"
My boy was ready.
So you're kind of like dared. They're like, you're not down, and then you're just
Yeah,
like,
basically, and like throughout the whole process, like I never really questioned anything. I was like always one of the first ones to like, "Ooh, let's just go and go do it."
Yeah. No, my experience was always a surprise because I barely even knew that fraternities existed. So I didn't even know there was like a process or anything.
Oh, okay.
The way I thought it worked is just you show up and then somehow you become a brother eventually. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't expecting like a process per se. Mm-hmm. So at first I was kind of like impressed. Maybe that's the word. Like impressed. Yeah. Like, that's so not expected. Yeah. But at the same time, I always trusted, but it wasn't like blind trust. It wasn't like a fate kind of thing. It was more like they proved to me that they were trustworthy from the very beginning. So why wouldn't I trust now? Because the more time I spend with them, the more reasons they give me to trust. Okay. So it wasn't like I'm getting into something I don't know with people that I don't know, and what knows what can happen. I never felt like that. Yeah, because trust is something you build with hard work. It's not something that just appears. So yeah.
So yeah, a lot our common occurrence that happens when people go through a process to get into their respective organizations is that the first people you really bond with on like a deeper level is the people that you rush with, your line brothers / sisters, depending on your org. At what point after you became a full-fledged member of Chi Delta Beta did you guys really start feeling the brotherhood from everybody, or was it always there? Did it develop? How was that?
So I think the first time I felt brotherhood was just like with my line bros, of course, like throughout the process. I think one of the moments that really does stand out was like I used to live in the dorms during my sophomore year when I was like going through the process, and I remember during spring break I stayed behind because I had like, concert tickets to go see Raul Alejandro, okay. And then at the time, like I think Carrie mentioned it on her podcast that it was saying like what's that place called where they give you food?
A dining hall.
Oh, the dining hall.
Yeah,
it was closed during the spring break, so I didn't really know. I didn't have a car, so I didn't want to eat like fast food all the time and stuff. Yeah. I remember my line bros like they bought groceries and they dropped it off to me. Some of them even made me food, and like they took care of me. They're like, hey, if you need anything else, just like let us know. We'll take care of you because like we know like it's tough. And I was like, oh, I appreciate you and stuff. And then I think with the brothers, I kind of felt it after we crossed. Like every time, I remember my whole neo semester, I didn't pay for anything. Like we went to parties, they bought the beer. Like everything. Like I never paid for stuff. And like, when they took me out to eat, I would never pay because they're like, you're a neo. Like we fucking like we love you and shit. I was like, all right, I guess. Basically.
Yeah. No. For me, obviously, with my line bros, very early on, since I met them, we had a very special connection. But with the brothers, I would say, obviously, with my big, because we went hiking. There's a little funny story over there. We went hiking. But I would say, like, the moment where I, like, especially felt like, yeah, like, I'm in. Even after I crossed, like, now I feel it, was at the cabin trip we went.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was, 3 weeks after I crossed?
It really was.
It really was. Yeah. So, like, that was, like, the first big event, like, Chi Delta Beta event that I went as a Neo. And there were, like, a bunch of, like, very older brothers there.
Ancient-ass fools.
Yeah, ancient-ass fools. And, yeah, no, it was really, really fun. I could feel a connection there that you can't feel everywhere else. So, yeah, I'll say the cabin trip that we had, it was funny. Yeah, it was really funny.
Sounds great. So, what advice or what would your pitch be to people that are on the fence about joining Greek life or joining a multicultural? What would your advice be to someone that hasn't made a decision yet or might make a decision in the future?
Honestly, my advice would be just like, if you really just want to make connections with genuine people and just overall just like have a second family, like honestly just go for it. Because like at the end of the day, like looking back at like where I was at the beginning, starting my first time here at Fresno State to where I am right now, like I don't regret anything. Like I look back, I'm like I would do it like 100%. Fuck, I even kind of wish sometimes I could have joined sooner. You know, just like have that memories already made. But basically, honestly, if you and look for like a family and stuff, I say go Greek, especially multicultural.
Yeah, yeah, especially in multicultural because you get to meet, well, obviously different from different cultures, but yeah. As for me, I always think that life and like happiness itself, it's about the journey, and the best way to get the most out of that journey is constantly getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And something that will definitely take you out of your comfort zone in a good way is going Greek. Whatever org you choose, going Greek is a good way of getting out of your comfort zone and boosting your life socially, scholarly. Is that a word? Like academically, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's I lived it myself. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have people to study with. I barely did anything. And as soon as I went Greek, all of that was kind of solved within time. You got to give time and effort, but it definitely boosts your life socially, academically.
Yeah, because I mean, like at least for us, like there's always like every day it's always like a phone call, like, hey, what are you doing? Come over, come over. Yeah. And sometimes you get like intrigued and you're like, all right, you say you give in, but eventually like you gotta focus on here academics too, and we gotta say like, oh no, like, we can't, bro. And they always respect our wishes, but like when they know we don't have anything like to really do, they're like just slide through, like, you know, it's just like that.
Yeah, and as for me, like there was this one time I got like lost into my assignments. It was way too many. I had like, remember that time? It was like 38 assignments.
Oh yeah, this man had. We went to a party on a Friday, and this man had like 30 assignments on a Sunday night. I was like,
yeah. And I was, because of that, I was lost during the week. I just disappeared, and they called me because I was disappeared. They were like, hey, what's up? Like, why are you not like even answering the group chat? I was like, I'm just gone doing my stuff. And they were like, you need a break. Can you have a break? And I was like, honestly, I need a break. And so, no, definitely people take care of each other genuinely in Greek life. Yeah.
Sounds great. So it seems like you guys genuinely have a connection with each other. And moving away from the business kind of aspects of it, what have been some of those fun experiences that you've had with your brothers in any kind of social setting? Could be professional, could be party, could be that. What are some of the things that stick out to you?
I think one story that sticks out is the first time we hanged out together as big and little. I remember when my brother was like, hey, you know, like I know this good hiking spot up there in like Yosemite. So I was like, all right. And then I was like, he could take your girl or like any girl you want. I was like, all right, for sure. But like the first thing I thought about was like, of course, my little. So I was like,
clarification: I am not his girl. I just felt like it was important to say that somehow.
All right. Yeah, but anyway, so I was like, I texted him. I was like, hey, what are you doing Saturday morning? He was like, oh, nothing. I was like, all right, I'll come pick you up. We'll go in the convertible and we'll go to the trail. So we went. I picked them up. We went over there. Yeah. And then we're hiking. I remember my brother was like, hey, you know, there's a good ass waterfall. You could take pictures, like, because a lot of people go up there to take pictures. I was like, all right. And we spent like a whole 2 hours out there looking for a waterfall.
Bro, it was like a campaign. It was.
It was like going over mountains, going down the mountain.
And you were not ready for like the snow. Oh, there was so much snow, and this guy was like on jeans, just like sneakers.
Well, because I didn't think it was gonna snow up there. Like, I was checking the weather because I'm not the type of person to really.
What month was it?
Winter.
But
it didn't cross my mind because being Santa Maria is same weather and stuff. Yeah. And that was like the first time I saw snow, so I didn't really expect to see snow. So we went up there, and like the whole time, like the 2 hours, like I was freezing. And then
I did my research. I was prepared.
This man even brought coffee. He was like sipping on this shit.
I was ready.
But yeah, I was going up the mountain, slipping and shit, and then like we didn't find a waterfall like for those 2 hours.
He fell so many times on his ass.
Yeah. Like, yeah, at one point, I was like, you know, just go off the trail, we'll find it. And then, like, 20 minutes going off the trail, we're like, we should probably turn back.
Yeah.
Because we were losing our footsteps.
We ended up and we ended up in a, like, random cabin of a family, like, in their, like, terrain, so to say.
So we must have looked at a bunch of, like, couples and shit.
Yeah, like, I don't feel like we should be here. I think we're off. Yeah. So then we had to go back. And it was like downhill going back.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, he fell even more times. And after that, we just gave up. We said, you know what? We're not finding this shit. Let's just go home. So we went back home, and we, as usual, said, fuck it, Denny's. So, so we
That's
did.
the move, yeah.
That is always
That
the
is
move,
the
to be
move.
honest.
So we were like, what's the move? Denny's, I guess. Okay, fuck it, let's go. And we pulled up to like a
small ass
surprisingly close Denny's to the mountain thing.
Oh, wow.
Like
It was like in
small
the
ass
middle
town.
of nowhere. And we were there, we had lunch, and then when it comes to paying, I was about to pay, and he goes like, you're my little, I got you. I was like, come on. He was like, no, I got you. I was like, I guess, thank you. And he opens his wallet, and he goes like, where's my card? Where's my card? I go like, did you check the car? No. And I was like, okay, try the other card, and I'll go to the card, try to find the first one. Yeah. Neither things went good, because one of your cards wasn't working.
Yeah.
Like
So
it didn't
basically,
pick
I
up.
had 2 cards at the time. One wasn't working because like the chip, I don't know, something was wrong with the
It
chip.
was something about the chip, yeah.
Yeah, but the other one was missing
Yeah.
because I lost it when I fell multiple times during the hill, and we didn't realize that. So then,
How could we?
yeah, so basically we're like out there freaking out and stuff. We're like, "Fuck, how the fuck are we getting paid and shit?"
Bro.
And then I sent this man to go in my car and like look for my other card just in case it was there, but he came back and empty-handed. So I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then for the first time, he's like, "All right, don't worry, I'll pay." I was like, "All right."
Yeah, I was like,
So he takes out this fucking Chilean.
Oh my god.
I do not like how you stress the word Chilean.
So I'm like, they're not gonna take your freaking pesos.
They do.
Oh my god.
Today I paid Panda Express. They do.
All right,
They do.
So
Something happened and the card didn't go through. And he
Oh,
goes
man.
like, it's
He didn't
probably
have
because
enough money.
international. I was like, it's a Visa card.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, so? I go like, you uncultured swine. That means you can use it in other countries.
Yeah.
So it didn't go through.
Mm.
So
like 15 minutes there, just standing
at
there.
least 15
We
minutes,
have,
they're
like-
freaking out, walking in circles in the middle of nowhere in a fucking Denny's next to a mountain. We're dead, like, from the hiking. We're, like, exhausted physically and mentally.
And the people that were just like sitting there were like a bunch of like white people. So I was like, and I'm a colored person, so I was like, dang,
They're not
man.
gonna help
like,
you.
Yeah, I was like, I getting that like hard look. So I was like, dang, fuck. But eventually, like, I was like, maybe I could do like, maybe we could do Apple Pay, and then we did Apple Pay, and that didn't work.
It didn't work either.
So I had like send money from like my bank account to my Apple account, and then we were able to like pay it off.
Bro,
so we're like, oh,
the people that worked there were done with us. They were done. They were like mad at us at that point. And I was like considering like, can we like work in the kitchen a little bit?
he
Help
wanted
out?
to work it off.
Can we just work it out? Work it off?
But
Eventually it went through. But what I would say we're at least a good 15 to 20 minutes over there trying to figure out that situation.
and never once it occurred to us to call our brother like that. That's we were just like, we didn't even think about it. We were just like,
we were just so focused on finding his card and why mine wasn't working and his wasn't working and the Apple Pay wasn't working either. So we were just like so focused on that we're like, we didn't even think about calling for help.
yeah,
A bunch of idiots.
tough time.
Tough times.
No, I don't blame you. It's probably because it was out in the cuts, so you're just like, oh.
I guess.
It could have been. I mean, you never know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Yeah.
party experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind it.
I think one of the good party experience that I have was to be honest with you, like
Like, say it.
I can't really say much because like at most parties I make it like halfway and then I'm basically out.
This
But,
man is a rusher, an Olympic rusher.
yeah. Everyone says I'm a sprinter. Actually, I think they're right. But
Yeah.
a good party experience. You know, you go first. Honestly, anytime.
Good party experience. I would say it was a crossover party. I don't know which org. I don't remember whose crossover party it was, but I was barely crossed. And we went to what was it, the reunion? It was a reunion.
Yeah. It was foggy that day, like hella freaking thick ass fog.
Yeah, like Silent Hill kind of stuff. And we were into the reunion. It was just the brother thing, like pretty unofficial. It was.
It was official.
Oh, it was official.
Yeah.
But after that,
but hold up. At the reunion, we met one of our founding brothers, and this man paid for every drink for him.
That's
like,
the thing.
Every freaking drink.
That's the thing.
This man had like 10, 15 drinks. I was like, damn.
It was crazy.
Not even me.
it was crazy. But that was like after the official, like that. We were just kicking it at that point.
Yeah.
And he goes like, "What are you drinking?" This founding brother, and I was like, "Nothing really." He goes like, "Why?" I was like, "Cause I didn't have my passport. Cause really just now I have my driver's license, my California driver's license. So before that, I had to show my passport for every single time I want a beer." And it's not a good idea to walk around with your passport because that has your visa. So if I fuck up my passport, that's no. Yeah. So I was like, I didn't bring my passport because he was like, I got you. And I was like, but how are we, like, how? He goes like, come over here. And he presents me to the bartender. And the guy says, he's Chilean. And turns out that the bartender was Peruvian, which is our neighboring country.
Yeah. So
we started speaking Spanish. We were kicking it. He was like, nah, I got you. Like I got you. Pretty South American thing. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was about to pay. And this guy was like, no, I'm paying. And he did so repeatedly. I don't even remember getting to that other crossover party that was after this event. And I think it was my first party as a new. And I was just gone. I was gone. I don't even remember anything until, like, my memory comes back. We were at Kevin's place. And somehow I got home. But the thing is, next day, he was telling me that I was being rude to people. And I wouldn't consider myself as a rude person at all. At all. But apparently I said some mean stuff, which I apologized eventually, and it's all fine now. But I was like surprised. It is the first and last time that I have done something I don't remember and I regret.
Oh, so it was like the first blackout, or?
I didn't even black out. I don't black out.
You just drink a little bit too much where like it was kind of fuzzy, I guess.
Yeah, my memory just
like it wasn't like he completely he was gone, but he was still functional as a person. But it was just like you didn't really remember a lot.
No, but that's the thing. So that's the only time, like my first party as a new, only time I've done something I don't remember and I regret drunk, which is something we should all do.
I remember too, because that night he was supposed to. I picked him up from Kevin's apartment. I took him to my apartment, so I put him in my bed. And
Yes!
And I was sleeping on the floor, and I told his man, I'm like, "You get like, I stayed up a little bit longer just to make sure like he didn't go on his back and stuff." And then like eventually it was like fucking 4 a.m, and like the sleep got to me. And then next thing I know, I woke up like at 10 in the morning. I woke up, and this man's not here, so I come down, rushing down to like to the kitchen. I'm like, "Where you at?" And then no one's there. I was like, no fucking way. Like, when did this man leave? And then like calling this man. This man never answered until like in the afternoon. He's like, oh yeah, I got home. I was like, I guess.
So I wasn't even driving. What happened is that he has a dog, Coco.
Oh yeah.
That barks a lot.
Okay.
So I was in that state where I was like, kind of like I was stopping being drunk and becoming hangover.
Yeah.
That sweet spot in the middle.
Yeah.
And Coco wouldn't stop barking and just wouldn't stop right next to me. I was like, you know what? I give up. I think it was like 5:30 in the morning. I called my older sister, like blood sister. Yeah. I was like, can you pick me up? Please. And she was like, yes. Yeah. So she went, she picked me up, she got me home. And then I slept. And then I wake up, like all the memories start like coming back. I start like puzzling things out. And I was like, yeah, I got drunk. Did I say something mean? How am I here? How did I get to Kevin's? Why do I have so many like missed calls from this man? Yeah. Bro. It was an enigma.
And the next day we had community service. I was like the only one that showed up.
That always happens.
Yeah.
That was,
tough times.
That community service thing literally happened to me after the after party at Mr. Greek. I missed service the next day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because it was NACLAN.
Oh, yes, it was. I remember a lot of people were like struggling, like partying at the Mukais. They were like, I got community service. Like,
I had a lot of people texting me like, "You alive?" Like, I think so. Like, yeah, that was pretty bad. But I gotta say that one of my favorite experiences, at least with you guys, was your guys' crossover party. This past was it a month or two ago?
Yeah.
I gotta say that was a great experience. I think you guys have world famous Kaijus now. I think it's a big thing now. So you guys want to talk about that for a little bit?
Damn. So honestly, like a lot of people like the Kaijus. You know, I think I'm usually the one that makes it. All the brothers have jokes that I always end up like with 10 gallons at my house. It's just kind of true, I guess.
It's not a joke. It's an observation. It's a statement.
But I think a good memory with the Kaiju was our tailgate. I remember we were active at the time, or I was active at the time, and I told my other active boy, I was like, no one could get super drunk because like we gotta clean up, you know, respect the school, and of course, like, you know, especially clean up because it's school property and stuff. So I remember I was pretty adamant about that, and then like usual, I guess.
You start crying.
Yeah. One shot turned to two, and then eventually I was pretty messed up. I remember I had like a whole gallon of Kaijus on me. I remember I pulled up to another fraternity because they were there kicking it together. And I'm like, hey, you know, like, have you tried this? This shit from the Greek gods, like from Mount Olympus. And they're like, what is it? I'm like, Kaijus. And they drank it and they liked it.
The thing is, Kaijus, it sneaks up on you because you don't taste the alcohol. So you go like, this is nice. I'll have another one. And then you go like, I'm not drunk, and it tastes nice. I'll have another one. And then all of a sudden just stabs you from the back. Just, and you're gone. You're dead. Kaiju sneaks up on you, which is a good quality. For me, at least, it's cool. It's funny. Yeah.
Because among us brothers, we have a rule saying like only have like 1 cup or 2 cups. And I remember as a neo, I was like, you think you're all that? So I was like, you know, I could take it. And there were like 7 cups in my system.
He in fact could not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's funny. There's something that happens always with Kaijus. There's like if you put Kaijus out there, there's gonna be an incident. Whatever incident is, I don't know, but it will be an incident. Yeah. That's funny.
It's a story creator, definitely. So, of course, you guys have the Kaijus and stuff, but what personally is your guys' drink of choice if you're trying to have a good time at a party? What is your lineup?
Honestly, I like to say that like we guys aren't really picky with our stuff. You know, like when we pull up to parties, we have beer, twisted teas, you know, whatever we could get our hands on. Like we're pretty much we just like whatever. To be honest, like we're not pretty much picky. But I mean, at least for me, I think I'll say twisted teas just for the fact that they're easy to shotgun. Like it goes down pretty good. Yeah. Because I tried ultras, I tried modelos, and like
you always have your twisted teas with you.
Yeah, and then with the beer, it's just like. It just kind of hurts when you like take it down super fast like that.
Yeah. You know what my drink is?
Yeah, rum and coke.
Yeah, rum and coke. So basically, it's because back home we don't really party with beer like that.
Yeah.
Beer culturally is more of a thing that you have with your dad or like at a family event. I always had beers with my grandma. Because she's German, so.
Okay.
This man's from all parts of the world.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty, yeah. But yeah, no, she's like actually German, and she has a beer like every day. Like it's a very accepted thing. People don't get drunk with beer. Like they don't drink enough beer to get drunk. At parties, people bring their liquor of choice and some Coke, and you mix it.
Okay.
And so you rarely even see shotguns from. So like. That thing made it weird for me when I came here and I saw everyone partying with beers. Yeah. And they were like, go beer after beer after beer. I was like, damn, don't you get like
some Coke and some rum?
Yeah. So at least for me, every time I can, I buy Bacardi, which is that's good. The one that's I like the most that they sell here. Because this is actually interesting. Most of the good rums, they make it in Cuba. Yeah. And the U.S. has a economical blockade towards Cuba. So most of the good ones, they don't get here. Okay. They do get to other places. So that's why whenever you go to buy rum, here you only see Captain Morgan or Bacardi. Because those are the only two. And Captain Morgan, I am pretty sure, is from here. Yeah. Bacardi is the only one that's Caribbean. But all the other ones, they don't get here. So like that's why Bacardi is always my choice. I always go around with it, having fun. And people don't usually... I always offer, but people don't usually want. So more for me, I guess. Yeah.
I get that. So, of course, talk about drinking and stuff like that. Is there any crazy party experiences that you've had that you remember that you just kind of things went a little kind of crazy or things went a little bit out of place compared to your normal party experiences?
I think one that really does stand out is when we went to a club event, me and him. So originally he was supposed to be DD, but then we went with other people, and they were like, oh, like, we'll take care of you, like we'll be DD. And so I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So we pre-gamed, and I guess I pre-gamed it.
Oh yeah.
I pre-gamed a little bit too much. So then we got to the event, we took pictures and stuff, and then we went inside. I remember like the DJ was playing some music and stuff, so I was like, all right, cool. And then I remember I was going to the bathroom. And then I used the restroom, of course, and I was washing my hands. And this guy comes in, like, he's super, like, fucking hammered and shit. He's like, I love it. And he throws up a little bit. Me being nice, I'm like, I'm fucked up too. But I was like, I'll ask him, like, are you gay? Like, you need someone to take care of you. Not me, but, like, someone else. And he's like, the fuck? And he pushed me around. I was like,
the guy started saying, like, I can take care of myself. And
okay.
I was in the bathroom. I was taking care of this guy. Just making sure that he didn't die. And instead, I ended up making sure he didn't kill someone.
Yeah. So this guy starts pushing me around. I'm like, bro, like, chill out. I just wanted to take care of you and stuff. And he's like, oh, and he started saying a bunch of shit. And then I think at one point he was like, oh, if you want, we could take it to the parking lot. I was like, bro, whatever, man. Like, I'm down to go and shit.
And I was like, dude, shut up. And like, right in this spot, Ashley, you know Ashley, right?
Yeah.
She just like kicks the door, like the bathroom's door, because she was taking care of us. She was with us, and she kind of overheard shit going down in the bathroom. So
wait, before that happened, the guy was like, "Hey, like, we'll take it to the parking lot." He's like, like, I know 3 people that will come and support me. I was like, bro, fuck it, like, call them. Like, I have people too. Like, at the end of the fucking day, I'll get down.
I was just like this, like what is happening right now? Like, my guy, I brought you to the bathroom. How cow. So like right there in the spot, Ashley just like kicks the door and goes like, Omar, get your ass out of here now. And he goes like, I guess. And he just goes out. And the other guy, he walked away. And I ended up with the other violent guy's friend. He was sober. And I was sober too. So like the 2 sober guys, I was taking care of my guy. He was taking care of his guy. They left and I was like with the sober one. And he was like, my bad. And I was like, no. My bad. Like, no, it's all good. Like, dude, I know. Don't worry about it. Like, my bad. No, my bad. It was so, like the opposite. Yeah. The opposite. It was so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, as of for me, I would say that when I drink, I kind of become the same as I am, just more outgoing. Mm-hmm. It's not usual that I do stuff that I wouldn't do sober. Yeah. I feel like the only thing would be that one story after the one that I told.
Yeah,
yeah. That would be the only time that I became like something else. Yeah. But in general, I just become, maybe I just do stupid stuff, a lot of stupid stuff, which I still do sober. Just for the character development.
I think a story that stands out for him is on a cabin trip. I remember one of our brothers brought Hennessy.
Oh, yes!
Oh, my God.
Yes, that is true.
That's a killer.
You want to tell it?
Yeah. So basically, Hennessy, I did it. I knew the memes about it.
Yes.
I haven't tried it. And one of my brothers pulls up with, like, Hennessy, and I was like, oh, that's funny. He goes like, well, try it. And I was like, bet. Why not? I don't see why not. Mistake. Huge mistake. This guy starts saying like, pour him a shot, pour my little a shot, and I was like, all right, I'm down to take a shot, and that was like a double a Kai shot. It was like legit. No, like actually, if this is the
size of the cup,
it was like this, and I don't know what got into me. I was like, fuck it, it's a cabin trip, like fuck it, and I did it
shit, basically.
Yeah, and that is the only time I have had a hangover. Next morning in the cabin trip, we were supposed to go out and play with the snow. Yeah. This guy couldn't wake me up. And I didn't drink for the rest of the day of the cabin trip. Yeah. I went sober. I went to rehab and came back. Yeah, that is the only time I have had like a hangover. Yeah. Fucking Hennessy.
That's insane.